Hello, everybody, and welcome to Awesome Comics, your one-stop shop for everything comic book entertainment. I am your host, Walter Benasiak, and today, it's a viewer's request. We're talking about our favorite DC animated movies. I cannot wait to get into this. But first, once again, I want to thank you guys for commenting and suggesting what you guys want us to talk about. Keep doing that, please. We will do as much as we can of what you guys suggest. And remember to up-like this video, by the way. I don't say that enough. Let's get some up-likes going, okay? Go ahead and like this video if you like the content. Okay, I want to make one announcement before we get started. Next week, we're going to be reviewing Captain America Civil War, and we're going to have two very special guests on the show, Mr. Doug Walker and Mr. Rob Walker. You guys excited about that?
Yes.
Yes. We're going to have the Walker brothers on set.
Team Rob, Team
Doug. It's going to be great. They're going to be talking Civil War with us next week, so make sure you come back next week for that. Okay, but this week, DC animated movies. There's a lot of really, really good ones, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, we are. And here to talk about it today, Miss Ayana Wade.
Hello.
And Mr. Brian Porter.
What's up?
Okay, everybody. Let's just jump right into this, okay? Ayana, you're first. What is your favorite DC animated movie?
Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, Batman, Mask of the Phantasm.
It's such a really, really good animated film, not even just for its time, but overall, it was considered one of the best superhero, if not just Batman, at least, movies until recently, I would say. The score is phenomenal.
I had that in my notes too. Shirley Walker passed away, I think in like 2000 or something, but she's like an unsung hero of the animated series and of this movie.
Yeah.
She is great.
Yeah, score is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's such a
Absolutely
good
amazing.
score. Just the main, like, even just the title theme is just really good. I was reading somewhere that it's people's names backwards are the words that they're singing.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
It was kind of
Yeah.
a joke. It was
It
kind
was
of
a-
a joke.
yeah.
among
I didn't know
them.
that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That it's just the names backwards, which I think is really, really funny.
It is.
And the animated style is really, really, really good. If you're watching a lot of the more recent stuff, obviously it's older animation style. But it's got
Hand-drawn
that,
animation.
Yeah,
but,
it's got that Art Deco.
Right, it's
and
got a
film
charm to
noir.
it.
Yeah, it's really good old school Batman for me.
Oh yeah, it's animated series style. It takes place in the animated series universe, and I love the animation style as well.
Yeah.
Bruce Timm was all over that with that
Yes.
animation style. So.
Voice
Absolutely.
actors in it are phenomenal.
Yeah.
We got Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Woo!
And if
Jack
you're
Nicholson.
looking forward to Killing Joke, maybe watch
Check this out, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I know a lot of you have seen it.
Right.
But if you haven't, Mark Hamill was saying that this is where he really figured out his Joker voice and laugh, and this specific one in this movie is the one that we hear now.
Yeah, he's great. He's so devious in this movie. I mean, like Mark Hamill, he's just like so special as the Joker. I love Heath Ledger. I love Jack Nicholson. I'm sure I'm
But
gonna
this was
like
after
Jared
Nicholson,
Leto.
before Heath Ledger, so this was really taking a step in a different
No, you're
direction
right.
of his voice, which was kind of cool.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people just go automatically to live action versions of the
Yeah.
Joker. But like Hamill as a Joker is just so awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
my
he's
favorite Joker
so
will
special.
forever be Mark Hamill's
I
Joker.
agree.
He does, Nicholson or Heath Ledger, they don't beat Mark Hamill's Joker for me. He will be the best.
I
forever.
got you. Yeah, we always talk about, speaking of Killing Joke, backstory on the Joker, we kind of get a little bit of the backstory on this guy.
Yeah, we see what he's up to before the bleach bath.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, how he draws the smile.
I love
on
that.
him.
I love that little touch. Bruce sees that picture and
we
draws a
definitely
smile on
see
his
some
face.
of Batman's detectiveness in this too. This
Absolutely.
is really good old school detective Batman as well,
And
which I like.
I did really like the first scene, or the first time out as Batman, with just the ski mask and the
Yeah.
shuriken.
Fantastic.
I thought that was really awesome. It was very reminiscent of Year One and Year Two, which is a lot of this was based on. And I thought it was good, but overall, for some reason, I just rewatched it. I could not get into the movie. I was
It's slower paced.
kind of bored, and
Compared to some of the other ones we're going to be talking about today, it's definitely a slower paced movie, but I don't think that makes it a bad movie.
I didn't think it was bad. It's just I couldn't
specifically
get into
for an
it.
animated film, but in superhero film in general, it really packs a lot of complicated, like character-driven story
lot of
inside of
emotion.
it.
A lot of
Definitely a lot. We really see Bruce's struggle with keeping his promise to his parents, and then
Right.
also wanting to actually find happiness in life. And a lot of people think, like Bruce kind of has like this vengeance idea, this vendetta, but we kind of see in this that it's not.
It's
There's
just a
someone
promise
else.
to-
The
yeah.
Phantasm has more of a vendetta out.
Phantasm's such a cool villain.
Yeah,
Can we talk
his
about the
voice
Phantasm a little
too,
bit? Oh,
that
so
angel
awesome.
of death, that
Your
booming
angel of
voice.
death
I rewatched
awaits.
it even just on my laptop and with my crappy little laptop speakers. It's still like chilling.
He's legit scary.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you see him show up with the smoke and stuff at the beginning,
Yeah.
just oh man. So
I
in
really-
the graveyard, he was scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really liked the Phantasm, but with the reveal of who it actually was, I was just kind of underwhelmed.
Okay, spoilers if you haven't seen
Yeah.
it. Give you a second here. Okay, it's Andrea Beaumont,
Right.
like Bruce's first love, basically, that he was going to marry. I love that whole backstory stuff with
Yes.
her and him. I mean, I think that's great. I think the
they
reveal
did like
for her
a
is fun.
Citizen Kane vibe thing
Yeah,
for the flashbacks and
sort of.
stuff, which was really cool. And for a film after the success of the animated series and everything, they really wanted to be able to like do like a story-driven thing, but also be able to touch on things with death, with blood, and we see that
There's
in
a lot
this.
of blood
And it
in
was
there.
PG.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, hey, if Killing Joke is going to be R, and we're able to get this much story out of a PG, I
Yeah.
There's
think.
also the times too.
It is. No, it is.
This came out in
MPAA
93.
was way
93,
different
yeah.
back
Right.
in the early
Also,
90s.
it wasn't originally supposed to come out in
No.
a theatrical
was
release.
a
It was
direct-to-video.
originally supposed to be direct to video,
Yeah.
and that was one of the reasons it was a flop. But it wasn't a flop. There wasn't enough critics that went to see it on time.
right.
They came out with like Saturday reviews, which no one reads really.
Yeah.
But for its time, it should have been able to do better. But it was a last minute decision to do a theatrical release.
I agree. I mean, in this, we talk about the flashbacks and stuff. We get to see Batman put on his cowl for the very first time, and you don't even see his face; you just see his eyes narrow, and
how
how
Alfred's
Alfred is
reaction-
terrified
Yeah,
of what's
like, that was
happening.
great.
Oh, so cool. So the
There were a lot
flashbacks
of,
worked well.
A lot of good points that I liked in the movie, but for overall, I was just kind of bored.
I don't understand why you're bored.
I don't
man.
either.
Like,
No,
it was a
like-
fully formed story. I thought like the slow parts kept my attention, even if it was slow. Like it was building story.
Right.
There was a lot of character interaction that made sense with Bruce. I love Bruce at his parents' grave at the big headstone and everything. I think all that's cool. I like Andrea Beaumont too. I mean, like she's not a fantastic character, I don't think, but I think she's well-rounded enough where I would believe Bruce falling for this kind of
Right.
girl, and that he would give it all up to be happy, and then it turns out to be another tragic thing in his past that pushes him towards being Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's really cool stuff, I think.
I don't know. It's just really weird for me. Like, and it's weird because I love the animated series so much.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like this was a good movie, but there are animated series episodes that I liked even better. I
Oh,
thought
no,
were,
I
like,
agree
were
with
a lot
that.
better as a story in,
Sure.
in
Well, but
20 minutes over.
There are a
hour
lot
and
of animated
16.
series episodes,
Yeah.
in my opinion, too, that are better than this movie, but this movie is great.
It's a good movie. I just wasn't as engrossed as I would be on any like half of the show or half of the episodes
How
from
about
the show.
half? I think there's like a handful.
I don't know.
There's
Maybe
a
like a
lot.
handful of episodes that are better than this, but that's for another time. Do you want to see us review Batman the Animated Series, talk about our favorite episodes? Because I would love
definitely
to
That
do
would be
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
If
That
that's
would
what you
be
want to
super
see,
cool.
leave it in the comments. We would love to talk about Batman the Animated Series. Maybe my favorite TV show, period. So leave comments about that. Okay, there's more stuff to talk about, but we gotta move on, unfortunately. Okay, we'll go on to mine here. Mine is Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. This is the best Batman Beyond story, and it is a great way to end the main run of this show.
Absolutely.
But it also bookends Batman the Animated Series. This is all canon, folks. This is
yeah.
canon of the DCAU. So we get to see like the last days of the Joker in this. We get to see like what happened to Tim Drake is just mind-blowing. You know,
Brutal.
It's
So
brutal.
brutal.
It is demented, and it is great.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about just the emotion in this. I love Terry McGinnis. I know a lot of people are sort of so on Terry.
I don't know why. He's a fantastic character.
I love Terry McGinnis. I like him so much because he is so different from Batman. He is such a completely different
He
character.
even mentions it in the movie, and
Yeah.
it's so good. He's like, I'm not the same Batman that
right.
you were. You know, I'm not like your other kids. And
Right. He was
Such
a
a
bad
good-
kid. Like I love all that stuff. So Terry is a great main character for this. When Joker comes back, oh my God. Mark Hamill did a little bit of a darker Joker in this. I think that this is a little bit of a different direction for him to take on it because he's a little bit older and he has a little bit of a deeper voice, you know, and a lot of that stuff. So what do you guys think of Hamill's performance as a Joker in Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker?
I like it.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
we
it
get a
was
little
so
reprise.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everything, he expanded everything on the original to a T. Like, it was great. And then he added a little bit new nuances to the Joker. And it's just top notch. Like, you cannot beat Mark Hamill's Joker.
You can't. You definitely can't. There's, when he reappears to Bruce, when Bruce sees him for the first time, old man Bruce Wayne sees this
Yeah.
Joker like reappear right in front of him, and it's just like you could see in his eyes like the shock and awe.
Like, he tells Terry, like, no, you're done. You can't go up against
Right.
this guy because of how awful he is. And he's like, I'm
Right.
not going to lose another one of my
Right.
soldiers. You know?
Right.
But he's being so Bruce Wayne in this. He's being very stern about it, and he's very unapologetic. Stupid kid, you don't know what you want. None of you ever did. That's a great line. And I think their relationship makes this thing, and the show too, work very well. The old man Bruce Wayne is such a cool, like, different take on the character too. I'd love to see a live-action Batman Beyond movie eventually.
We just get Kevin
yeah.
Conroy
Just get
as
Kevin,
old man
put
Bruce
some,
Wayne.
some
That'd be
old man
perfect.
makeup on him. It would be freaking awesome. Please do that eventually. I want to
That'd
see
be
something.
amazing.
I want to see something like that. I think maybe one of the best scenes, period, in the DCAU is this scene when the Joker shows like the home movies of how he tortured Robin
God,
and
yes.
got out of him who Bruce was and all the secrets and everything. So emotionally heavy. And then there's the line, I'll just read it. Behind all the strum and batterings, you're just a little boy in a play suit crying for mommy and daddy.
Oh,
It would be
that's
funny
good.
if it weren't so pathetic. What the heck, I'll laugh anyway. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Great line from Mark Hamill's Joker. And then Bruce basically goes crazy on him
Right.
after that. It's a
You
great
really see
scene.
the mental hold that Joker has on Batman in
Yeah,
this in general,
definitely.
though.
Yeah, the
and
emotion-
how Joker and Harley are able to like manipulate exactly the right people to get to him.
The emotional tone of that whole movie, I think, was best like portrayed or whatever in that flashback scene. I mean, later with the final battle or whatever, like nothing beats that flashback scene and the emotional tone and
Yeah,
just the
great.
overall craziness of it. I think that was the best part of the entire movie.
Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I think it's the best DC animated universe movie. Like, it's freaking fantastic, and it ties into Batman Beyond and Batman the original animated series so well. So check this one out if you haven't. It is fantastic. And we're gonna go on to Mr. Porter's pick. What is
This was
yours?
very hard because Batman Beyond Return of the Joker was like my favorite up until this movie, and then just thinking about the two of them, it's like, how do I pick? But for me, ultimately, it's going to be Batman Under the Red Hood. It's
great.
I love that story so much, and one of the reasons why I love it just generally was because it doesn't have Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill and all them. Like, nobody can touch them. Nobody can be better than them. They will always be the best. But for Bruce Greenwood and Joe DiMaggio and Jensen Ackles.
John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio.
Yeah,
Joe
Ackles
DiMaggio, the New
is
York Yankees
so
player.
Yeah, my
good.
bad. John DiMaggio, like, that Joker was an awesome take on the Joker, but it
Definitely.
still felt so much like the Joker.
Very different take,
Yeah.
sort of darker.
Yeah.
Just a little
He
bit
was-
more no nonsense, but I think a little bit like more unhinged maybe than
Yeah,
Hamill's Joker.
definitely. And I just loved his voice. I loved his laugh. And then Bruce Greenwood is definitely my number 2
He's a
voice actor
really
for
good
Batman.
Batman.
He
Really
sounds
good.
great. He's way better than what's the new one they got out now?
Jason O'Malley or
Jason
something.
O'Mara.
O'Mara, right.
I like him way better than that. But because this movie holds its own so much with this new voice cast is a big reason why I like it so much, because it toe-to-toe with anything Hamill and Conroy, and I think that's great.
It is
And
a
then
great
Jensen Ackles is awesome as the
Great
Red
as
Hood.
Red Hood, yeah.
The Red Hood is such an awesome character. You got Jason Todd, you got from 1980s Death in the Family, how brutal that was, the 900 number where the fans got to choose whether he lived or died, and we killed him, and we didn't see
We
him
killed
for
him.
20 years, and it's, oh man, it was so good. Judd Winnick wrote the movie. He
Yeah.
wrote Batman Under the Hood, the original graphic novel, and it's just so good. It's an awesome story for the continuation of Jason Todd's character and how different he is from any other Robin we had, and what happens. Like, just Bruce says that he picked him up because he was so different from Dick. And
He wanted to save him,
He
kind of,
wanted to
was
save
the
him. He could see
motivation.
what type of path he would go down. And I think this is the culmination of that path. But even worse because of Batman's influence. Now he's so much
dangerous.
He's dangerous. He's a murderer, and he takes those skills that he learned from Batman and uses it for evil. And it's awesome. And it's an awesome what if. Like, what if Batman went bad? Red Hood.
Right.
And
Basically.
it works so well, and it goes back to my favorite, the emotional scene of this whole movie was the end when he's got the Joker and he's got the gun on Batman. He's like, why is he still alive?
Right.
Right.
You know, all the people he's
climax.
tormented, like the friends he's crippled.
Perfect.
Nice shout out to Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
Like that whole scene emotionally was awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, if he had taken you away from me, there was nothing I could have done or would have done this. Kill him or whatever. Like, oh, it's such a good thing. He's like, Batman's like, it'd be too damned easy to go down that route. I would
Right,
never
and
come
once
back.
you
Never
start,
come
you never
back.
come back, yeah.
And he's like, I'm not talking about killing Penguin or Dent. Like, just him. And there's so much emotion.
I
He
agree.
loved Batman, and he couldn't.
He even
couldn't
saves
forgive
him. There's that fight with those guys dressed up in whatever. I'm not sure who those guys are.
Yeah,
It was
the
with
fearsome hand of four.
First Man of Four, and Jason saves Batman.
Yeah,
in that
he's like,
for
look
them.
out, and he
Right.
takes that thing.
So you
like-
could say he still really cares about him.
And it's
Yeah.
just such an emotionally complex character,
Mm-hmm.
and just how the Lazarus Pit messed with his mind. It's like
But
you don't know how
that's the
much
thing, though. We
of
don't know.
that
Did it
is-
really affect him that much, or was this all him from
Already
the beginning?
inside, right.
They
But,
asked that question in the
If
movie.
you look at it from a psychology standpoint, like he was a kid and then he dies and then he comes back and he has none of those formative years to actually become an adult, and so
Right.
he becomes an adult with the mindset of a child who is incredibly deadly.
What do you guys think of the flashbacks with showing young Jason Todd with Bruce and stuff? That's
So
I
good.
think
I
the heart
actually
is right
really
there.
like specifically the alley scene where like we see him with the car and
That's
then
right.
and then
Yeah.
right and then we see him present day. I specifically
those
love the
cuts.
visual of like that part in the alley.
Yeah, I love the cutbacks and like how he kind of narrates his time with Jason and what he saw and all that stuff. Like, oh, it was so good. It was
Yeah.
one of the best ways to do flashbacks or whatever.
Yep.
The final flashback scene where he's the first time he's in the Robin costume and he's like, come on, old man, there's some bad guys we gotta, take or whatever. And he's like, this is the greatest day of my life. Seriously,
Hurts.
Misty, every
Yeah,
single time. No
I
matter how
agree,
many times
man.
I watch it, I will. It is right in the heartstring. It's by far my most favorite. Although Killing Joke,
We'll see about that.
we're gonna see. I'm
We'll
excited,
see about
man.
that. Do you want to see us do a whole episode of Killing Joke? We're probably going to do it anyway. So leave a comment and let us
Too
know.
bad.
Hey guys, it's Heather. I'm here at Amazing Fantasy Books and Comics in Crown Point, Indiana, and we're going to go ask some people what their favorite DC animated movie is. So let's go. This is possibly the creepiest piece of memorabilia I have ever seen. I don't know why you'd want to make a mask of the Joker's literal rotting flesh, but apparently you can have it. Not creepy at all. All right, I'm here with Mark, who is also apparently a real Ghostbuster. Can we talk about the Proton Pack for a second first here? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it's just this one is based off of the end of the movie. It's a stunt pack, so it's made out of lightweight EVA foam. It's roughly about 10 pounds. It's got the static lights.
Well, it looks fantastic, but we have another important question for you. What is your favorite DC animated movie?
I would have to say New Frontier. Big fan of Darwin Cooks. The storyline itself is just, it's amazing to see what could have happened if the comics code didn't implode the industry. The artwork, like I said, it's beautiful. And you got to admit, when Batman walks up to Martian Manhunter and says, I spent $80,000 on a piece of meteor sliver. For you, I just need a penny for a book of matches to stop you. You got to give it up.
So have you seen the trailer at all for Killing Joke?
I have.
Are you excited or?
It's been waiting forever. Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy doing an R-rated Batman movie. How can you not be excited that they are Batman and Joker?
So do you think it's a good thing that it has an R rating to it?
Of course it is. It's about time. That was the whole purpose of DC doing the animated features direct to video, was so that they could do R-rated PG-13 movies. It's just taken them a long time to get to that point. Now if they could step up and go from Batman to, like, say, Green Lantern with Blackest Night or even Kingdom Come, that would be awesome. So if you come check us out on May 7th, it's Free Comic Book Day, which everyone knows. It's going to be huge. We're going to have a bunch of cosplayers. We're going to have giveaways. Every year it gets bigger and bigger. Last year we had a line out the door that went three storefronts down. So we're hoping this year will be even bigger.
Personally, my favorite DC animated movie is Under the Red Hood. It has a fantastic story, great characters, and I love the animation style. So I really hope at least one of you picked it. This has been Heather at Amazing Fantasy Books and Comics in Crown Point, Indiana. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks. Okay. Right now we're going to go into our picks of the week, and they tie into our individual movies. Let's go with Ayana first.
So mine, I'm going into the digital realm this week. Do you read comic books physically, or do you get them on your apps? Let me know. I'm interested to hear what your favorite way is. My pick is Batman Adventures, which is based off the animated series as well. And issue number 7 is Phantasm Strikes, which ties into my movie definitely. And bonus, we get a little Batgirl action.
Who doesn't love a little Batgirl action?
I love a little Batgirl action. I love a lot of Batgirl action. I really super like that we get some Phantasm in there again, and also we get it to see a little bit of Batman and Batgirl at the end. That's kind of the trust that Batman has to have in Batgirl, because he's trained Robins and everything for a while, and he sort of doesn't really know Barbara's background and sort of has to have a lot of faith in her as a sidekick. And I really like their relationship in this issue specifically. It's a good issue, check it out. And actually the whole Batman Adventures series is really fun. There's some good Robin bits in there as well, so you should check that out.
Cool stuff. Porter, what did you pick?
I picked Batman Hush specifically because towards the end of the book, we see Jason Todd as Robin come back from the dead. This is the first appearance of Jason Todd back from the dead. It was retconned later by Judd Winnick, and visually it is awesome. Jim Lee, the drawing on this is perfect, and it's an awesome story, and it's a great, awesome kind of tie-in towards how this story ends. The book itself is amazing. You need to pick it up, and just not even just for Red Hood. This whole book is one of the best Batman stories ever. So, Batman Hush, pick it up. Awesome.
It is a great book. I can attest to that. Okay, for Return of the Joker, I wanted to pick something a little bit different, so I didn't go with the Batman Beyond book. I actually went with Brian Azzarello's Joker book from a few years back. This has got a lot of buzz when it came out. It kind of has a little bit of a Heath Ledger vibe to him, like Joker has like the scars on the sides of his cheeks and stuff like that. Lee Bermejo, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He does some really good art in here. Just see a little bit right there. It's got really like down and dirty kind of stuff. He also switches to like more realistic type of sort of almost watercolor painting type stuff. Not to the point of Alex Ross, but still some really good realistic type art in here. So it's a really good look inside of the Joker. So it kind of ties into Return of the Joker, where you could see his thought process a little bit better. But okay, those are our picks of the week, our comic book picks of the week, because those are comic books and we just talked about them and you saw us talk about them. So thanks a lot, we really appreciate it. Okay, next week, folks, we're gonna be talking about Captain America Civil War.
I can't wait.
So excited.
It's gonna be awesome.
We're gonna have Doug and Rob Walker here. The Walker brothers will join us. Their sibling rivalry will combine with awesome comics to give you a really amazing review of a great movie, I'm sure it's gonna be. I'm really excited for it. Okay, so for you guys, where can we find in the social medias?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'll be right here for you. Oh, so convenient.
Oh, she's always there for you guys.
Always right here.
Always. Porter?
Facebook.com/awesomeporter. Just talk about some stuff from the show, general musings on stuff, so just look me up.
All right. I am on Twitter at awesome_Walter. I put up basically whatever I want. I try to put up some stuff about, like news for animated movies and stuff. I've been talking about The Killing Joke on there a lot, so if you're interested in my thoughts on that, go ahead and check that out until we talk about it on the show. So, until next time, for these two lovely people here, I am Walter Bernasiak, and we will see you next week on the next page.